Today is July 19th, 2023. Okay. I had an appointment out in Warren. They followed me. A lot of them turned off. But I actually had someone say something to me where I have been rambling about the different people involved. One of them was Bill from the Freemasons. He drove a medium blue truck. He was white, 40 to 50, white hair, okay? He told everybody he wanted to meet me. Well, he didn't come up and say hello to me. But people would say he was around me. And people have tried to shoot me in the head driving. There's a gunshot and I've got my skull crushed in on 12/21/18. I'm being drugged the hell out of. The shooting night right before Christmas at 18. And I have stalkers coming at me. If somebody just tells me your first name and you want to meet me and you're walking around me, you don't come up and say hello, do I look at you? Or am I scared to death of everybody around me? Scared to death. Some guy said he was actually helping pay for the harassment because I wouldn't look at him. I didn't. He was part of it anyways. They need to get him. He's part of the human traffickers. Or he wouldn't have people make fun of me. Why do you make fun of victims? Because you're part of it. Exactly. You're part of it. He's part of selling other human beings for sex slaves and to be murdered. And just making fun of a victim that's getting hurt repeatedly. He's sick, isn't he? I got back and I went to the laundromat and some guy went to walk in another building. We all know they made fun of everybody for falling for this. No one will say anything to her. They did. Repeatedly. Including the FBI agent that fell for it. Oh, I went through Ravenna and I know they all have the login. So I'm rambling about June 7th, 23, Walmart 62 by the hair salon. They tape an audio everywhere. Where Lighthouse Tabernacles making fun of FBI agent John that they fooled with the tapes before. FBI agent John fell for the stunt of the tapes before. Oh, come on now. That FBI agent fell for it. It was just a stunt. John actually fell for it. It was a stunt. A satanic stunt. I'll put it that much. A satanic stunt. Okay? You mean FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before and it was only a stunt? He actually fell for it? You're kidding. Is that why they got away with it? FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before. Calling him out. Okay? November 18, 22, Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon. Eric comes in, one of the human traffickers. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people to turn on her and they fell for it. If it's only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad and they still fell for it. June 30th, 23. I'm walking around Massacres Park. Some guys are walking around. The guy running it, he's the life of the party. A real social. He was laughing with how he fooled all these people into helping out with the stunt of tapes before, and they all fell for it, and he fooled everybody with it. And he was laughing with everybody how he fooled all these people into helping out. And he stole all the money for himself. Well, who is that? It's Eric. I go up and I work in Hartville. A black car drives by from the case, and I know the boys, I don't know who it belongs to. I heard he made fun of us for fooling us with a stun of tapes before. By June 30th, 23, Hartville Kitchen, about noon, pickup center. They got cameras and audio in there. Nurse comes in, Karen's will, found out. He is mocking everybody for falling for a stunt of the tapes before. I go work up in Akron. They drive by me and my client and her husband is sitting out in the garage. Eric, answer me. Eric, is this what's going on? Eric! And And my client's husband's like, what's that about? I'm like, oh my God, they're right in front of you. I go to leave at 5:30. People pull in. That's exactly what's going on. They're making fun of everybody because they fooled them with the stuff on the tapes before. Now they're mocking them, and they all know it. July 9th, 23. Okay? I'm in Trinity Gospel. My client wants to sit on the front row. The ladies come in and sit down, and they confess they're selling the login to the protected custody case. And they're like, now Melissa's a documented liar. Because in protected custody, she got caught telling her kids to lie. And then on Thanksgiving of 18, they went to the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. Then later on the floor, they made everything up. And then October 23rd, 2019, Flora told a bunch of adults, of course it never happened, of course it wasn't true. We made it up, they were games every time where the police said they make up something, call you a bad word. Okay? They're documenting me jokes. Okay? She said, we told Melissa, stay out of this. And, we made enough money on the sale of the login. What part of you sold the login that you didn't understand that? And you just said you made a lot of money? You hacked into the FBI and sold the case. And you just confessed to everybody? We heard there was a retired Judge Pete in her home before. He didn't have no authority to be in her home. He's going to go down for this. So are you. Okay? So, then they said the FBI wouldn't dare fix this after what one of their agents did. They fooled him. He should have known better. It's the Fourth Amendment over the house. Nobody's allowed in your house. Except for police and agencies under protected custody cases. It's entrapment. They can never look or listen. I told you on where I had called the FBI and they kept me drugged up for 3 days, and I made myself get out of bed after I called them, and they kept me drugged up so they could get to that agent where I left a number. But there's not a taste before. I'm Ron lying to him, pulling at his heartstrings. Okay? He's the one where I got up and mowed the lawn, got air in my face, called Sarah, asked her to witness for me, and then I hadn't even called him back yet. Went down, bought her card, put the agent's number where he left it in a voicemail, and then took it down, had made an excuse for David to take me to the mall for church. Dropped it off for manager, put it in her locker. We went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. And I walk off, and people are still screaming at him, how dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life? Well, women walk up. He said that she's being drugged, beaten, raped, and he said he didn't care. And I have bruises. I've been torn up in a severe personal infection summer long. My heart sank in my stomach. Is that what's going on? Because her amnesia drugs. I go in and sit down to get away from them. And they come in and said that if she was going to be faking she was sick and faking she got well while that family was grieving, he didn't care what they did. And he knew she was being drugged, being raped. And I thought, oh my God. Dave comes in, let's go, and then we get out in the truck. He called the FBI on me. And I said, what do you expect with these people threatening my life and you? And he starts threatening to kill me himself and swinging at me. There's a loaded gun between the counsel, and he knocks my hand off. And I almost jumped out on the highway. And he was trying to hit me and threatening to kill me. I was so scared for him, and I ran when I got home. And the next day I tried to call the agent. I called that agent back on crying rivers of tears. And I told him that someone told on me. He called me a liar. It was him. It was verified November 6/22 at Trinity Gospel investigators. The agent that called her back was verified by officers that he told her before. April 15, 1623. Dave confessed to Danny that he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. And Pete, talking about Pete having me fired. Pete don't have anything admissible. It's the Fourth Amendment. And that he had talked to an agent up at that church, asking threats on her life. Okay? Alright, and then I tried to tell him about the guy threatening to knife me, and that he had tried to kidnap me before he called me a liar. Was there a camera above the bench where he threatened to knife you? I don't know. You either say you're a liar or I'll arrest you. And I'm like, he said, now was there a camera above that bench? I'm like, well, the Pizza Hut lady got paid to watch me. I said, was there a camera above that bench? I don't know. Then you say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. It's like, fine, whatever. That's badgering. It's obstruction to justice and tampering with witnesses. It's exactly what he did. He fell for their con. And they mocked him in public on June 7th, 23, calling him out, Lighthouse Tabernacle. Okay? Alright. Like people that got the login, it's got absolutely ridiculous. We all know they made fun of everybody for falling for this. They made fun of the FBI and they dare them to fix it. They don't think they'll do it because they fooled an agent. They're in the FBI database. They were even talking about Eric Bregan. He stole the money from my case. They still owe it to me. 100% owe it to me. He told on me before I called him back. Because you're going to say he's incompetent? That he didn't find out Dave was having me stalked by the Mexican drug cartel? I was talking to this one guy who lives on the border of Mexico. He said the Border Control has cameras everywhere. He said there's only so many different drug cartels and it filters down into drug dealers. He said, was it the Italian? Was it the Russian? Da-da-da-da. He said, was there Latinas involved? I said, actually a lot. I said the main kidnapper is Latino descent. And the guy that said he drugged me first and told me to say it February 2nd at Burlington Coat Factory. And then a lot said they were working for retired Judge P. He said it's the Mexican drug cartel running the scam on you. Working for retired Judge P. Lighthouse Tabernacle and New Life hired the Mexican drug cartel and a retired judge messed up with them to run a big scam up here. I don't think they're funny. And then scamming the FBI agent. He knew better. So Fourth Amendment. I talked to Officer Reinhardt Louisville. He said, you know, I don't care what they say they got. I don't care what they say they did. It's illegal to look and listen. Nobody has a right to monitor you in your home outside of protected light case with statements. There's nothing else. It's the Fourth Amendment, actually. Went to the Portage County Sheriff's. What these people did is illegal. They tried to frame that. And they had nothing to do with it. See, there was a retired judge in Florida that had 100 men, was part of human traffickers. Human traffickers take women and children to be sold as sex slaves and to be murdered. There was a bunch of African American people helping out in this. And I went out to eat with this one guy on January 13th, 23, and he was talking that he had a friend. He knows somebody who deals drugs, and it's a drug scam, basically from the drug dealers out of this area. And that all of them know I didn't know. Okay? Alright, and then he said a bunch of other stuff. But he also, on January 20th, 23, we met again. I got a friend on the police department. They know about the case that agent opened with you. And they knew about the Texas group. And I said, oh, the Kingsmen, is that what they call themselves? There's a bunch of men I don't know sitting around me dressed nice. And they're staring. And, you know, then he's telling me, he said, you know, the African-American people they're taking, they're finding their bodies along railroad tracks. They're just shooting them. They're just killing them, taking them to kill. Well, a lot of the African-American people don't help out this no more. Because they're picking them off. Now, I don't think it's funny that they hired a bunch of legal immigrants. Now, I am not racist at all. Not racist at all. To come up here in a drug cartel to run a big scam. The apostolic religion. It wouldn't matter where they're from. But I don't think it's funny to break in private homes, stalk them, and it was done by a drug cartel. A drug cartel. How could he fall for it? And then you're going to blame poor Ron and his lies strange made up with his low education? That they're drugging people, raping them under drugs, Poor victims waking up with bruises all over them, throwing up, massive headache, heart racing, then a severe personal infection, seen by Altman family physicians all summer long. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and here I'm being beat, drugged, and raped in my own home under amnesia drugs. I drugged and told to say stuff. They're photoshopping shower scenes. They're getting even. Lighthouse was getting even with me because Dave was dating Katie. And he called her fat and ugly in Macy's, and that was a setup, but they wouldn't have known. Freaks had to be hiding in the purses. Because he's like, I'm like, Dave, are you cheating? He's like, no, Karen, that girl's pathetic. He said, as if I go out with her, I'd rather kiss a cow's butt than that fat, ugly heifer. Why start around laugh? He said at the entrance of Macy's. She's in Ashcroft and Oak. How would she know? Because the freaks were hiding in the purses. Never even sent her around her. So how would she know? Because it was a setup. So they all have to get me. Because they're committing adultery. See, that's why Strange made it up after I got well of working with this doctor for 9 months. 2 months after that traffic accident, I had nothing to do with. Been working for 9 months with this doctor to get well. 2 months later, I got well. Nothing to do with nothing. His father-in-law ran a stop sign and pulled out in front of a semi, and a semi hit him. In 2003, May 3rd, 2003, I got well in July. Spontaneous remission that it always goes into. Strange and Dave were friends. He called him his son, David, from a pulpit. Katie had came back to church, and she was dressed real trampy for apostolic religions. And he knew, everybody knew of Katie's reputation of sleeping with every guy. So, yeah, all of a sudden he's telling people I was faking I was sick and faking I got well. So David have to sit in there by himself, and they could get even with me and let him commit open adultery, the religious people. Why do they have long hair? Why do they wear skirts? If they're going to undress 4 married men and commit adultery, what's the difference between them and a prostitute? Besides, the prostitutes are prettier. You know, I was talking to this one guy. He said, you know, it sounds like that call out west, where basically they keep their women dressed up like in the 1800s, and then they sell and exchange wives. Pretty much, huh? Except for these people hired a drug cartel. And they tried to have me murdered 4 times, and then decided they were going to frame me and human traffic me and publicly humiliate me to get even for one of their women committing adultery. Strange made up that lie so Dave could cheat. I had nothing to do with Ron's kid's death. His father-in-law pulled out in front of a semi, and the semi hit him. It wasn't even the semi's fault. He stopped for that stop sign. They'd both be alive. But he didn't. And Dave wanted to cheat, and they couldn't let me sit in that church anymore. I've been sick for years, and I'm working out with this doctor, and I'm getting stronger, I'm getting better, going to church all the time. They can't have me there. He's already got a girlfriend. So they make up that lie so it would be okay for him to openly cheat. And how disgusting, and I mean disgusting, do I find Ron. Using his dead son's name and his family's tragedy of 2003 to further an occult and their lies. How disgusting. Is he devastated? He runs $1 million business. Construction, electrical. No, he's not devastated. He's playing people. Has other children, gave very big weddings. Is he devastated? No. He has grandchildren, goes on big vacations. Is he devastated? No, he lives a dream life. If he's devastated, he wouldn't be able to move. And it was 20 years ago now. And it was 15 years, and they were playing with that agent's heartstring, and then fooled him, and then mocked him, and then mock all these people for fools for falling for their stunt, and it's a drug cartel's scam. That's where my friend said it was a drug scam from the drug dealers out of this area. My friend that worked at the prosecutor's office in Stark County, it's a fraud scheme. Nobody can be in your home. It's illegal to look and listen. And that agent told on me, and you're going to say, where they call him out by name, that he didn't know Dave was having me stalked, drugged, beat, and raped. He didn't know the drug cartel was in there, and he should have hid me on the first day. That he's incompetent? Or he was, like the officers verified. And even my client their neighbors, we went over that church, and it was verified. It was the agent that called her back that told on her before. Dave knew the moment I called the FBI because he was having a drug cartel stalk, drug, beat, and rape me. He was human trafficking me out of my own home. Sick bastard. Sick, satanic bastard. He knew when I called the 800 number because he was having me stalked. You can't have anybody watch. You can't give them special permission to stalk somebody. You can't hire somebody to stalk somebody. You can't interfere in their life. You can't walk around taking pictures of them. You go to jail for it. You can't be in somebody's home. It's entrapment. The right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person, your places, your homes, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Your home can't be violated. No searches, no seizures without probable cause warranted. You have to have a court order. You can't hire them on your own. Of the people, places, and things to be searched and seized, you have to give them random rights, tell them why you're there so they can lawyer up and shut up, because we also have a right to remain quiet and a right to an attorney. It's called entrapment. And then what they did to me is called sextortion. It's a federal crime. And now they're bragging they're in the FBI database. They've sold the login since the first month. And now that they said that they stole my money. The FBI still owes me that money. Some lady in Target yesterday was walking around. We looked at her agreement with the FBI. They are to always put it back as if it never happened. Always. I'm supposed to walk around in limbo for it's a life of peace. I laid my life down to help them get information. And I got tortured, bashed and skulled, human trafficked and raped and tortured and almost murdered. They owe me that money. And John told on me. And Dave knew. And you're going to say he's incompetent? He didn't know Dave had the drug cartel stalking me and drugging me, being raping me? Or like the cops said, it was him that told on me before I called him back. He don't even have the authority to ask you to stay quiet. He was scamming me so he could get away with it. He opened a real case with statements with money and then just let it run because he fell for their stunts. He should have known better. Do you know fooling the FBI is like a 5-year sentence? It's like you arrested him, right? People have died. People have been taken. And these people think that it's funny that a drug cartel is breaking in people's homes, drugging them, beating them, raping them under drugs, selling them on porn sites, photoshopping, clicking and pasting a shower scene in the other room. My one friend said, I have a laptop, I could do it on mine. I mean, my friend said he could do it on his. It's real easy. Just move it to another room. And they already admitted they amnesia drugged me and told me to say stuff. I'm not close.